It is unconstitutional to use our military in policing. It is unconstitutional unless we have a declaration of war or martial law. Within 90 days, we're talking about, I don't know if he's going to declare martial law, but within 90 days, we're talking about the effectively martial law. For what reason? Why are we doing this? Crime is at all-time lows. What the fuck are we doing here? All right, here's one thing he did today. This is weird. This is just really, really weird. This is an executive order that Trump put out this morning, strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. A little wordy there. And you're going to see what we're doing here. Purpose and policy. Basically, they say like that safe communities rely on the backbone and heroism of a tough and well-equipped police force. Not necessarily. In fact, there's very little evidence that a safe community has anything to do with a tough, well-equipped police force. In fact, the toughest and most well-equipped police forces usually are police forces in more violent communities, and usually their use of force leads to more violence. The peaceful police forces who don't use violence tend to be in places where things are a bit more peaceful and there's less crime. Now we're talking about when local leaders demonize law enforcement and impose legal and political handcuffs that make aggressively enforcing the law impossible, crime thrives and innocent citizens and small business owners suffer. I gotta bring it up again. Crime is at historic lows. I don't know what I don't know. Like, I guess it's just easy to trick you guys into thinking like we're in this really, really dark world where crime is just overrunning our country, but that's not true. Crime is at near historic lows. It has been for a while, specifically violent crime. We saw an uptick in COVID, and that's to be expected. In fact, if Trump continues down this path, we're probably going to see more crime because when people lose jobs, when we have increased rates of poverty, crime goes up. The best thing you can do to prevent people from committing crime is have a society where you have the fewest amount of poor people as you possibly can. And our side, we think that means that you should help poor people. And their side thinks that means you should get rid of poor people. Just throw them in jail. Throw them, maybe send them to El Salvador. So here's what they're talking about now. The Attorney General shall take all appropriate action to create a mechanism to provide legal resources and indemnification to law enforcement officers who unjustly incur expenses and liabilities for actions taken during their performance of their official duties to enforce the law. States' rights? No, not states' rights. Now we're going to tell the police what to do from a federal level. I think a lot of this stems from Trump's anger in his first administration, that when people protested, he wasn't allowed to just shoot them in the leg or hit them with rubber bullets. He doesn't like protesters. He thinks they're inconvenient. He doesn't like people using their First Amendment right. And when police overreact, he loves that. And so he doesn't want police officers to be able to be sued. So if a police officer is just violent to you, Trump doesn't want them to be able to be sued. This mechanism shall include the use of private sector pro bono assistance for such law enforcement officers. This is what Trump has been doing. This is why he keeps targeting specific law firms. He's written like 4 or 5 executive orders that target law firms who have sued him or hired somebody who had sued him. And every time the settlement is that they're going to give pro bono services. So Trump is basically now he's just shaking down law offices and saying, hey, when we get a little aggressive here, we're going to need you to represent us pro bono, please. We're going to use those pro bono hours you've promised us. They want to empower state and local law enforcement to provide new best practices to state and local law enforcement to aggressively police communities. Again, top-down approach. We're not doing states' rights anymore. That's only for taking people's rights away. Expand access and improve the quality of training. I like that idea, but I bet their quality of training is going to be more like physical training and not things like trying to keep people calm, trying to de-escalate. I don't think that will be what they do. Increase pay and benefits for law enforcement officers. Strengthen and expand legal protections for law enforcement officers. If anything, we need to weaken the legal protections for law enforcement officers. We've seen time and time again. I live in Mesa, Arizona. Google it right now. Google Mesa, Arizona police lawsuit. And you're just going to keep finding time after time the Mesa PD killing people and then getting away with it. People who were no threat, who didn't have weapons, and they were just killed by Mesa PD. Seek enhanced sentences for crimes against law enforcement officers. Oh, so now if you hurt a citizen, that's one thing. But if you hurt a law enforcement officer, you should get a harsher sentence, which is a fucking crazy thing for this administration to do because they just pardoned a bunch of violent criminals who assaulted law enforcement officers. It's hard for me to believe that you guys care about the police. What this looks an awful lot like is Trump preparing law enforcement to do what he wants them to do, to go after people who he sees as an enemy. Maybe people just protesting him, because he certainly didn't give a shit about the people who beat up Capitol Police. Didn't care about that at all. Promote investment in the security and capacity of prisons. Good. Yeah. We need more people in prison. We got to up the capacity. I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? We already imprison more of our population than any other country. And we're like, yeah, we got to do more of that. Increase the investment in and collection, distribution, and uniformity of crime data across jurisdictions. Within 60 days of this order, the Attorney General shall review all ongoing federal consent decrees, out-of-court agreements, and post-judgment orders to which a state or local law enforcement agency is a party, and modify, rescind, or move to conclude such measures that unduly impede the performance of all law enforcement functions. Everybody who's got a lawsuit right now against a police officer, if your politics are of the left, your case is about to be dismissed. If you had a law enforcement officer abuse you and Trump agrees with it, then your case is about to be dismissed. Jesus fucking Christ, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. The police state is here. Let's talk to the Republicans in the chat if you guys are here. Let's talk to you guys in the chat. I want to know why you like such big government. I want to know why you want a police state. What's going on here? Why are we pro-police state all of a sudden? What are we doing, Republicans? Why are we doing this? Do we have any answers to that from our Republican friends? Why we're doing we aren't a police state. We are just abiding by the law. Remember that we are law abiding. No. This is a police state. AIG. I understand we're not in a police state right now. They're going to turn us into a police state. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General and Secretary of Defense, in consultation with the Secretary of Homeland Security and heads of agencies, shall increase the provision of excess military and national security assets in local motherfucking jurisdictions. Remember yesterday when we talked in that debate? The guy's like, oh, all fascists take our guns. Well, that's martial law. Under martial law, you don't have a right to your gun. Donald Trump and Pam Bondi on day 1 or 2 sat down together and they talked about the legal process of taking people's guns without due process, by the way. They advocate that without due process, you should lose the rights to your gun. By the way, the thing that they're advocating, I actually agree with. I actually think it's a good law. I think that if you are accused of domestic assault or domestic abuse, that you should lose access to your weapons until you've gone through your court case. I don't think that you should have access to weapons while you're going through that, but we're here. Shall increase the provision of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist state and local law enforcement. So what does that mean? What is a national security asset? It's obviously equipment, right? We do this already. We take excess military equipment and we put it into the hands of the state. Give people, think of Waco. Like the police for some reason had tanks, right? Where did they get tanks? There was excess military. But the assets makes me nervous. Assets makes me really nervous. I don't know what that means. They're not defining what it means here. Are we going to have the National Guard now policing our streets? Like, swear to God, like this is fucking Russia, guys. You want to know why there's no crime in Moscow? Because they're in a police state, a constant state of surveillance. You guys have gone from freedom-loving patriots to watch me harder, daddy, so goddamn fast. Maybe that's what Sean Duffy was talking about. Donald Trump has turned all these freedom-loving patriots into die-hard cucks who just want to be watched all the time and who want the police officer on every corner. You guys don't get. If you give a fuck about freedom, it's time for you guys to say something too. It's time for you guys to start talking about this. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, shall determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. It is unconstitutional to use our military in policing. It is unconstitutional unless we have a declaration of war or martial law. Within 90 days, we're talking about, I don't know if he's going to declare martial law, but within 90 days, we're talking about the effectively martial law. For what reason? Why are we doing this? Crime is at all-time lows. What the fuck are we doing here? No, what do you mean, no, it isn't, Jake? Why is this not martial law? Tell me the difference between taking the military and having them policing the streets and martial law. What's the difference? Like, if Donald Trump came out and said, like, I'm just going to get rid of all liberals, you guys would just go along with it. Raise your hand if you would be okay with Donald Trump deporting me. Donald Trump says, this guy RTP, he's saying shit about me that I'm calling it a lie. Let's just say he says I'm a liar. How many of you, raise your hands, would be okay with him getting rid of me or imprisoning me for, let's just say, lying? There it is. You're a liar, bro. You're a liar, bro. This is his words. These are his words, Republicans. What am I lying about? This is whitehouse.gov, dude. Whitehouse.gov. I would love it. See, that's what I'm talking about. You guys are just fascists. You're also both bitches, by the way. That's why you hide behind screens. You're just both bitches. There we go. Deanna, too. Look at this. Be proud of it, Republicans. Who else wants me out of here? Who else thinks I should be thrown in prison? Hands up. Hands up. Daniel, there we go. Heart bleeds for you. There we go. Nah, keep it going. Keep it going. Who else? Who else thinks I should be thrown in prison? Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly who we say you are. You're exactly who we say you are. You're all fascists. And if you're not, and if you're a Republican here, let me just say, if you're here and you think that this is wrong, start asking yourself why so many fucking fascists are on your side. And do you really want to be aligned with that? Is that a good thing that you have the president up here putting out executive orders saying that we're going to use the military in the streets, and you got your Republican friends here in the chat saying that I should be thrown in jail? Just ask yourself, do we like this? Is this what you voted for? Is this freedom? Is this what America's all about? No, I want you to stay, Jake. You're the one that raised your hand when I said, who thinks I should be thrown in jail? You raised your hand. Don't be a bitch now. Don't bitch out from it now. I don't think you should be in jail. I think you should be educated a little more. Don't be a bitch now. Stand on business. Within 90 days of this order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, shall determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. This is batshit crazy. He's going to do it. He's going to fucking do it. It's here. Fascism's here. You're in or you're out. Unfortunately, a lot of you guys are in. Fortunately for us, most of you are stupid, and that's going to work out well for us. That's going to work out. The Attorney General shall pursue all necessary legal remedies and enforcement measures to enforce the rights of Americans impacted by crime, and shall prioritize prosecution of any applicable violations of federal criminal law with respect to state and local jurisdictions whose officials willfully and unlawfully direct the obstruction of criminal law. This is what now they're saying we're going to arrest judges, and we're going to arrest judges if we think they broke the law. We're not going to let the judges decide. We are going to arrest them, including by directly and unlawfully prohibiting law enforcement officers from carrying out duties necessary for public safety and law enforcement. Does it matter if those law enforcement officers have a signed warrant from a judge? Does it matter if they are overstepping their rights? It does not. It does not. They do not care about rights. They do not care about due process, and they're putting it in word now. We're going to arrest whoever the fuck we want. Unlawfully engaging in discrimination or civil rights violations under the guise of diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives that restrict law enforcement activity or endanger citizens. I don't even know what we're talking about there. This is just racist, sexist, bigoted bullshit. If you try and stop us because we are targeting certain people that we don't like, then you're going to jail too. God damn, what the fuck are we doing here? Tell me the difference between this and the start of the Nazis saying that they were going to round up Jewish people. And if you get in the way, if you're hiding a Jewish person in your house, they're going to come in and they're going to arrest that Jewish person and they're going to arrest you. What's the difference? Somebody explain it to me. What's the fucking difference? You might say, oh, well, these immigrants are here illegally. Well, they thought the Jewish people were there illegally too. What's the fucking difference? Oh, wait. What's the difference? I'm helping immigrants evade ICE. Yeah. Come on, MAGA. What's the difference?